Hello my loves, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Gigi. So today I want to play around with that 3D gel, which that's not all it's for. You can use it for other stuff. You can build nails with it, I think. Um, I think you can also put the tips on with it. Maybe we'll try that soon. Anyway, we're gonna need a background for that. So two of the nails are gonna be this gorgeous minty green. Then the other three nails are gonna be this beautiful pink, which is like a lilac-y, sort of crystal-y kind of pink. I really love it. That color is gorgeous. Um, my only sadness is that as I'm playing around with it, I realize the bottle is not 100% full. So, which none of them are 100% full, right? They always leave a little space. But when you can tell you got a half a bottle of something, that's kind of disappointing. So, Phoenixy, fix that, okay? Fix that. And it's not just Phoenixy. I've had that happen with a lot of different brands, so I don't love that. So what I'm doing now is playing with that gel that we were talking about. This is by Saviland, and all of these pots were 100% full, so that's lovely. And I'm just cutting pieces, okay? I'm just going to cut 5 little pieces, and then we're going to make a little 5-petaled flower. We're going to make a few different kinds of flowers today. To varying degrees of success, because honestly guys, I'm just playing with this. I'm just learning how to use it correctly and how to make things with it nicely. I am going to say I thoroughly enjoyed playing around with this and making the flowers. Sorry, my brain farted for a second. There was a couple things, learning, a couple things. Right here, I had not put down a base coat yet. And because there's a little bit of a sticky layer to this polish, it was fine. But my experience with a sticky layer is that over time it starts to dry out, and it never completely goes away, but it does get a little less tacky. And as I was going, I was realizing I needed a base coat. So just a little friendly tip from somebody who's still learning. A base coat with this kind of stuff is your friend, because the gel itself sticks to the base coat really nice. Sorry, I know you can hear that. That's my heater. I'm going to turn it back off because it's really not that cold. But it was cold overnight, and I had just not turned it off yet. We actually had a bit of rain yesterday, some desert rain, and I really enjoyed it. We do not get a ton of rain here in Las Vegas, and I miss the rain, so I was super happy to see it, but it was also very cold. Not like snow cold, of course. Although I heard reports that some areas of town got some snow, but it wasn't my area of town. And none of my kids sent me any videos to tell me that they had snow. So there you go. It is what it is. So now we're just coming in and playing with the next one. And this one, here it is. I should have put some base coat down for this. I did not. And so I'm struggling a little to make them stick, as you can see. But you know, it's a learning curve, and I want to show you guys my mistakes too, because sometimes you learn more from your mistakes than your successes. And if you're like me, you learn from other people's mistakes. They say you can't. I fully disagree with that. I have watched people make mistakes and gone, okay, I'm not going to do that. That's not a mistake I'm going to make. So you settle yourself down by watching other people make mistakes. Like, somebody outside is yelling for somebody. It sounds like they're saying a name, but I can't really tell. I hope you're not hearing that. I bet you are. So if you are, just laugh with me, because they're, out there making noise. Can't get upset with that kind of stuff though, because, people have lives. They have to live their lives. So anyway, back to mistakes really fast. I used to smoke cigarettes. And I quit smoking cigarettes like 14 years ago, 13, 14 years ago. I'd have to look it up. I don't know exactly. Because I've completely put it behind me. There's no part of me that would ever smoke a cigarette again. It's just, honestly, it disgusts me now. And I'm sad that I ever did it. But the reason I quit was watching my mom and dad die horrible, horrific deaths. And that leaves a mark, right? And I was like, as I'm watching my mom completely not be able to breathe and still somehow manage to get outside to smoke a cigarette, I was like, no, I'm done with that. And I put my cigarettes out, put my cigarettes down, and I never went back. And I just never will. I just never will. So, you can learn from other people's mistakes. There you go. So if I'm making a mistake and you see it, you'll know not to make that mistake. And the mistake I made on this set, one of the mistakes I made on this set, was not putting down a base coat on all of the nails. It ended up working out because gel likes gel, right? But I would have had an easier time getting my little balls of gel to stick to the nail and stay where I put them had I put down a base coat. So there you go. Learn from my mistakes. Now I'm going to come in on this pink one and or white flower. And this is the only one I actually do this specific technique with, but it worked really well. And I can see myself playing around with this a lot more. I'm just going to fade in a little bit of pink in the middle of the flower, as I love flowers that are variegated in color. I think it's awesome. Now on this one, I'm not sure I would say I made mistakes. I just feel like as I continue to play with this one or with this gel, I'm going to be able to do a flower like this even better than this one came out. As I'm not upset with how this flower looks, there are just things I would do differently. Now, what I'm going for on this, and you can tell me in the comment section if you think I accomplished it or not, is sort of a morning glory kind of flower. And a morning glory doesn't have individual petals. It's just one big round petal, right? And I have grown morning glories a ton of times. I absolutely love that flower. But they don't have orange morning glories. And I did look this up to make sure I was correct on that. I was like, there's no morning glory flower, right? Or I mean orange morning glory flower, right? So I looked it up, and they do range from pinks and mauves into blues and purples. So no, there is not an orange morning glory, but this is a fantasy flower set. So it doesn't have to be exactly like nature. There you go. So I'm just putting in, if you've grown morning glories or seen morning glories, you know, they have, where they're folded, they have sort of a, before they fully open, they're like a folded up little torpedo of a pod or a bud. And as they open and unfurl, there are like creases in the flower. And that's sort of what I'm trying to mimic with the little lines that I put in. And now I'm just adding a little texture to the petals, trying to raise up some areas and dip in others to give you really that frilly, unfurled look of a morning glory. And honestly, I think it's coming out pretty cute. Now, most morning glories do have a bit of color variation where there's some white or some more of a paler version of the color that the flower is, and we are going to add some of that in at the end with some gel polish. And actually every one of the flowers is going to get a little bit of a gel polish treatment, just to add, you know, a little something. So now on this one, we're going to make some pink gel, and I figured it would be easier to brighten up the pink by adding some pink to the pink that we already have, because the pink in the jar is again kind of a crystally pink, but I wanted it to be deeper because I didn't want the pink to completely match the color of the nails, although that would be a cute look and you could totally do that. And you could do the reverse by putting like a minty green color flowers on on the pink nails. So you do have options with the way that you play with color in a set like this. Now I am going to go ahead and use some white and just mix those together so we have just a little mix of variegation in our petals, right? I love variegated petals, like I said, and we're just going to go ahead and play with that. Now on this particular nail, we're going to do half flowers. Actually, the one in the corner is more like a third flower or a quarter flower. Just because I'm playing, right? I just want to mix it up and do different things, and every nail is mostly going to have its own flavor. One of the greens and one of the pinks has almost exactly the same flower, just a different color scheme. And then the pinky is getting as well a flower that's almost exactly the same as the first flower we made on the thumbnail. So I am going to skip a couple of the flowers just because this video is starting to get a little long, but all of the ways that I made the flowers are present. You're not missing anything. Just a little redundancy. That's all. And so also another thing that I realized is that worked for me. Okay. Everybody's art is different, and I'm not telling anyone how to art. I'm telling you how I art. There you go. So one of the things I just kept telling myself is work slowly. Work a little on this petal, a little on that petal, press them out together. And then that for me just started to make it make more sense. If I tried to make each petal completely before moving on to the next, it ended up not looking so good. And there are a couple times that I removed the gel and started over. So I did cut that part out because some mistakes are too big to deal with, right? And it wasn't even so much mistakes, I was just headed in the wrong direction. So once you get started, press out a little on one petal, press out on the next one a little, and just keep going back and forth until you can make all the petals do what you want. And in this case, I wanted them to overlap a little bit, but not lose the shape of the one underneath it or press them together so much that they were one petal. Excuse me. A little frog jumped right in my throat. And now with these other ones, I'm just going to go ahead and create a half of a flower right here on the side. And this is the one where I actually added some base coat. And you can see that these just stick right on there if you have some base coat. So base coat is your friend with this kind of a process. I know that if you were here for the one where I did a matte top coat and used this product, you could tell it doesn't stick to a matte top coat at all. It was really hard, and it stuck just fine to the sticky layer of these polishes until they'd been sitting around for a little while, and then they started to not stick anymore. So for me, base coat, and do a base coat right before you start your sculpting with the flowers or whatever you're making with this gel, as you've got options. I saw, and I don't know exactly what kind of gel he used, I just saw the pictures of the octopus that Votino made. I see an octopus in our future, guys. I want to make one now. And I've seen him do a couple. He has a white one, and I think he has a blue one or a grayish blue one. I'd have to go and look at his page to remember. But I've seen him do a couple. So I definitely want to do an octopus. I think that would be really, really fun. Okay, now we're going to make some purple, and I want to point out something I'm doing wrong here, which is you can still see orange on my glove, and that is mixing into the purple. And luckily, it didn't really mess with our purple, but if this were a lighter color, it would have 100% changed the look that we're going for. And that would be a bummer, because you'd either have to deal with the new color or use this gel for something else and make fresh gel. So clean your gloves, clean your hands. I recommend using gloves because you don't, I see people all the time using this stuff with their bare hands. I, I don't know, should you? Right? I don't want to get a gel allergy because I want to continue doing my nails long, long into the future. So I'm absolutely using gloves. Anyway, make sure you clean your hands, whether they're gloved or gloveless, before you move on to another color. You can see on this hand that I'm holding my tool in, there's still orange on that. I could have taken some alcohol and cleaned that off. So that was just me not really paying a close enough attention to what I'm doing. And you can blame it on that this is a new product and I'm not used to doing that, but I am used to doing that. I clean my gloves with alcohol and some paper towel all the time because when you're doing this kind of stuff, you get gel on your hands, that's why I wear gloves, because you get gel on your hands. So just be a little more fastidious than I was in this particular video, because that's a bummer. So as you can see, this is the same type of flower that we did on the green nail, the yellow one that we did. I wish I'd done the yellow one bigger, because what doesn't match between the two nails is that this one is a bigger flower. Also, just as an aside, that flower makes me think of a starfish, and it makes me want to do a starfish, and maybe a starfish when we do the octopus nails, because that was a cute flower and it looks like a star. So I think a starfish is definitely in our future as well. If you'd like me to add anything else to a set like that, leave it in the comment section, because I want to please you. I want to make you happy. So now I'm just coming in. We're heading into the gel polish phase, and I'm just adding some variegation to the petals on this Morning Glory. Here's what I wish I had done a little different. It's fine the way it is, but I wish, if you again know Morning Glories, some of them are almost striped, right? In that the different colors will come up in sort of a triangle shape, striped around the flower, and I think that would have been really cute. So I'm definitely going to play with the Morning Glory thing and see if I can perfect that, because I love Morning Glories. I think that the flower itself here came out pretty cute, but it could 100% be cuter. So now with this little flower, the first one we made, I'm just outlining it and giving it a little bit of white in the center, and pulling down a little where the petals meet, giving it a little love and a little oomphiness. We're going to do almost exactly the same thing on the blue one, which you did not see me make the blue one, but you'll see that here in a minute. All of the flowers are going to get just a kiss, just a little kiss of the gel polish. And you can omit that. You don't have to do any of this, right? If you like the flowers just a little more plain, that's beautiful too. Instead of using gel, you could put and here's the blue one that you didn't see me make. Instead of using gel, you could put gems in the center of these flowers. Now, I did decide not to completely outline the blue ones. I don't know what my thinking was with it, but as soon as I did just those little swooshes of white, I loved it. And I was like, this is what we're going to do, because I really like this. Keep your cleanup brush handy in case you need to do any cleanup. It's always nice to have that around. And then once we get this last one, we're going to go ahead and do a little more cleanup and get this popped into the lamp. This blue flower is so cute. It just feels delicate to me. I like it. I like it. It's a very cutie. I'm just going to add a touch more of the gel. Sorry, I got lost. I got lost in my work there for a second. And now on these, we're just going to play with some veining on the flowers. I think it just looks so pretty with a little extra white in there to give it some oomphiness. Super, super pretty. My grandson, who is 4, has started gaming a little bit. He likes to play World of Warcraft with his Gigi because you know I'm a WoW girl. But he also likes Roblox, which is good because it teaches him how to use the mouse and all of that really well. And there's this game that he likes called Penthouse Tycoon. And he has 2 different accounts, one for at his house and one over here that's on my email address. And I am logged into his game just collecting money for him. So when he comes over, he can just build his penthouse as big as it goes. So right now he's sitting at $1.2 billion on the game, of course. If I ever have access to $1.2 billion, wow, there's going to be some changes. But honestly, guys, I think I'd still keep my channel. Not because, please monetize me, YouTube. But not for the money so much as that I love you guys. And I love making nail art. And I love the tiny little community that we've built here. So I'm not sure I'd want to give that up. But I'd be doing it in a much fancier place, right? There you go. There you go. I have this little dream that I buy a C-class camper and that I load all my nail stuff in it and some clothes and my dog and my meds and go across country and do nails for you guys in different states and places and what have you. And I think that would be so much fun. So, I'm just going to put the good juju on that. So now we're going to come in with a little top coat. And I am top coating on top of the flowers to protect them. But what you're going to want to do on top of the flowers is dry your brush off after you top coat and come back in and scrape almost the extra polish off. Because if you have made a bunch of texture in your flower, you don't want to lose that. So just even if you want to use like a dry brush to pull it off, you can try that as well. There are different options. And then I'm just going to scatter some gems because I want to. I have a ton of these AB crystals and I think they're gorgeous. I just thought it would look so pretty on this set, and here I am. I'm just like pulling anything that might have settled into that texture, just pulling it right off. And especially if there's some texture in the nail or in the flower. Like a couple of the flowers don't have a ton of texture. The first one and that blue one, they're pretty flat, and you can get away with just doing what you want on those. But these other ones have a lot of texture in the petals, and so losing that I feel like it would detract a little bit from how it looks. So just be mindful of that, I guess, is what I'm saying. There you go. There you go. Also, as I was talking about that, I was trying to get my dog to not bark. I don't know if you heard him, but he was starting to grumble and ruff, ruff, ruff. Somebody probably sneezed outside or something. There you go. I think you're not going to see every single nail get top coated either. But, that's okay. This video is pretty long today, so it's all right if we skip one or two. And here's that blue flower again. Guys, I really struggle with knowing which one is my favorite because that orange flower really does make me happy, even though I feel like I didn't quite hit the mark exactly. Still think I really like it. This blue one is just adorable. The first one we made, I love that flower. The purple one, I think I really got better at that purple one other than the yellow one. So I don't know which flower is your favorite, guys. Let me know in the comment section below. But here is all 5 of the nails. I hesitate to call it a set, although you could wear it as a set. I honestly think each one of these would make a pretty accent nail for another set. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section as well. Guys, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I appreciate you so, so much. Until next time, I hope you have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful start to next week. Mwah! Bye-bye.